Welcome back everyone to It Takes Two. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Naomi. Today, Ethan, we're diving into a story that involves surfing, sheepskin, and accounting.
That's right, it sounds like a weird combo, but it's the origin story of one of the most recognizable footwear brands on the planet, UGG.
UGG. Oh man, the memories. Middle school me lived in those things. Cozy, yes. High fashion. Debatable back then, but iconic now.
Iconic is the word, and it all started with a guy named Brian Smith, an Australian accountant.
Wait, an accountant? Not a surfer dude with flowing locks who just happened to invent comfy boots?
Nope, apparently, the corporate world of crunching numbers left him feeling totally unfulfilled. He was restless, dreaming of something bigger.
I feel that. Who hasn't dreamt of ditching the spreadsheets for, well, sheepskin boots, apparently?
Exactly. So he quit his job, packed his bags, and moved to California, drawn by the entrepreneurial spirit and naturally the surf culture.
Okay, now it's starting to make more sense. California, surfing. The accounting part is still throwing me a little.
Well, that's where the big aha moment happened. He noticed American surfers wore these wool-lined boots after surfing.
Right? Gotta keep the toes warm after hitting those chilly Pacific waves.
But Brian knew that back in Australia, surfers used sheepskin boots, which he thought were way more comfortable and better quality.
Ooh, the homeland advantage. He saw a gap in the market.
Bingo. He thought, what if I bring authentic Aussie sheepskin boots to the US? And bam, the idea for UGG was born.
Just like that, an observation turned into a billion-dollar idea. While,
Well, just like that makes it sound easy. Starting it was anything but. He even enrolled at UCLA's Anderson School of Management to sharpen his business skills.
smart move. So he wasn't just relying on the sheepskin dream, he was getting the education too.
He initially partnered with a friend, Doug Jensen, and they became distributors for an existing Aussie brand, Country Leather.
Okay, testing the waters.
But Smith realized it wasn't his vision. He wanted his own thing. So, he trademarked UGG and raised $20 from family and friends to launch UGG Imports.
$20 zero. That sounds like a lot, but probably not much for starting a global boot empire.
Especially when your first season is a total disaster. Get this, they sold only 20 pairs of boots.
28 pairs? Not 28,000? Just 28?
28 total. A devastating loss.
Oh my god. I think I've bought almost 20 pairs of shoes in my lifetime. How do you even recover from that?
Apparently, American surfers just weren't familiar with them. They were skeptical, didn't see the value. It wasn't part of their post-surf ritual like it was in Australia.
So he had this great idea, but the target market was like, nah, we're good. Ouch.
Big ouch. Money was running out, investors were hard to find. It was looking pretty bleak.
This is the part in the movie where the dramatic music swells and the main character stares out a rainy window.
Pretty much. And to add to the drama, his friend and partner Doug Jensen decided to step away, leaving Smith to go it alone.
No pressure. Just you, 20 pairs of sold boots, and a mountain of doubt.
But Smith didn't give up. Sales started to grow, albeit slowly. He knew he needed more than just a product, he needed a brand.
Ah, the magic of branding. So what did he do?
He officially established UGG Holdings Inc. In 1985 and registered a U.S. trademark with a ram's head logo and original UGG Australia.
Making it official, giving it that stamp of authenticity.
And then he ramped up marketing. Aggressive ad campaigns positioning UGG guests not just as boots, but as a lifestyle.
The lifestyle sell, classic, buy these boots, become instantly cooler and more relaxed.
It started working, but the real game changer came in 19 Night Whiffer.
Okay, I'm ready. What happened in Night Whiffer?
The U.S. Olympic team wore UGG boots during the Winter Olympics in Lillehammer, Norway.
No way. The Olympics? Talk about major exposure.
Exactly. It catapulted UGG guests into the mainstream. Suddenly, everyone wanted them. Sales exploded.
From 20 pairs to Olympic athletes. That's quite the glow up.
Initially, 80 of sales were just in southern Orange County, but now demand went national, even international.
Okay, so smooth sailing from there, right? Olympic fame, booming sales.
You'd think, but success brought new problems, namely counterfeiters and copycats.
Ah, the dark side of popularity. Fake UG guests started popping up everywhere.
Flooding the market, hurting profits, damaging the brand's reputation. Smith had to work with law enforcement, seize fake products, file lawsuits.
Fighting the fakes, like a fashion superhero.
But the bigger battle was over the trademark itself. Competitors, especially back in Australia, argued UGG was just a generic term for sheepskin boots, like sneakers.
Oh, tricky. Like, can you trademark sandal? That's a tough legal fight.
Exactly. Australian manufacturers insisted they'd been using the term UGG for ages and Smith couldn't just own it internationally.
So he's fighting fakes and fighting for the name itself? Stressful?
Incredibly, these legal battles dragged on for years. He had to keep innovating, expanding the product line, partnering with celebs to keep the brand premium while fighting in court.
Talk about multitasking. Running a growing business while juggling lawsuits.
Ultimately, he managed to protect the UGG trademark in key markets like the US, though Aussie manufacturers could still use the term within Australia.
A partial victory, but crucial for the brand's identity elsewhere.
Definitely. But by 1995, Smith felt he'd taken the brand as far as he could on his own.
He built it up from nothing, faced down the challenges. What next?
He made the strategic decision to sell UGG to Deckers Outdoor Corporation.
Sell it? After all that, how much did he get?
A cool $14, $6 million.
Okay, $14. $6 million makes the decision a little easier to understand. Not bad for starting with 20 pairs sold.
Not bad at all. And he recognized Deckers had the resources, capital, infrastructure, global distribution to take UGG to the next level.
And did they ever? That's when UG guests really went supernova, right?
Absolutely. Deckers pushed it globally. But the biggest moment, 2003?
Let me guess. Oprah?
You know it. Oprah featured UG guests on her Favorite Things segment.
The Oprah effect. That's like hitting the brand lottery. Instant sell-out guaranteed.
Pretty much. Sales surged and UGG became a cultural phenomenon.
Suddenly they weren't just for surfers or Olympians. They were for everyone.
Deckers kept expanding, first retail store in Soho in 2006, first international store in Japan the same year.
They even did that collab with Jimmy Choo, remember? High fashion meets ultimate comfort.
Yep, 2009, blurring the lines, and then they targeted men with the Tom Brady campaign in 2011.
Smart. Gotta convince the guys that comfort isn't just for women.
By 2012, UGG was officially a billion-dollar company, over $1 billion in annual sales.
From 20K investment in 20 pairs to over $1 billion. That is absolutely insane.
And they kept evolving under Deckers, expanding into home goods like blankets and pillows in 2013.
Makes sense. The whole UGG thing is about cozy comfort, so why not extend it to your house?
They did pop culture collabs with Pixar and Disney, keeping the brand relevant.
Mickey Mouse UG guests. Cute.
And a big branding shift in 2016, they officially dropped Australia from the name. Just UGG.
Interesting. Moving away from the specific origin to become more of a global lifestyle brand.
Exactly. By 2020, they even launched ready-to-wear apparel. It's a full fashion label now.
Wow. So what happened to Brian Smith after the sale? Did he just retire to a beach somewhere on his $14, $6 million?
You'd think, but no. He actually transitioned into motivational speaking and writing.
Sharing his wisdom. I bet he has some stories.
He wrote a best-selling book called The Birth of a Brand, detailing the whole journey, the highs, the lows, the 20 pairs.
I love that. Taking the struggle and turning it into lessons for others.
He really emphasizes perseverance, not giving up after that disastrous first season.
Lesson 1: Don't quit after selling only 20 boots.
And adaptability, realizing the American market needed a different approach than the Australian one.
Knowing when to pivot, change the strategy, crucial.
And above all, believing in your vision, even when things look impossible.
It's a pretty incredible story. From a restless accountant to the founder of a global empire, and now an inspiration to others.
It really is. Proof that sometimes the simplest ideas, like warm boots for surfers, can change everything if you stick with it.
Makes me want to go find my old UGG guests. Though maybe I'll leave the 2000s low-rise jeans they were paired with in the past.
Probably a wise choice. Well, that's all the time we have for today on It Takes Two.
What a journey. Thanks for listening, everyone. Join us next time,